Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Okay, all of our guests today brought to you by Langley Chrysler. Don't miss the game because your car needs servicing. Langley Chrysler will pick up service and drop off your cars so you don't have to miss the action. Valet service only at langleychrysler.com. Brendan Morrison on Twitter last night. He's standing by the way. But let's show his tweet from this morning, which was a follow-up to what he was up to last night. Slept on the no-goal call last night and appreciate the varying points of view. Still firmly believe it was the wrong call. Rule states you can direct the puck into the net off your skate without a distinct kicking motion. Did he guide it in? Yes. Did he distinctly kick it? Question mark. And he goes on to say, no, anyways, hard to believe Bieksa, Willie Mitchell, Marty Turco disagree with me. 2 D-men and a goalie. Pals. To be clear, this is not why the Flames lost the series. Ex-Canuck Brendan Morrison joining us now. Brendan, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Have you heard from a lot of people over the last overnight and this morning?
It's been pretty hectic, to be honest. Like I had no intentions of creating a bit of a storm there on Twitter. I was just like, man, I believe I should count, and then I threw that out there, and then pretty quickly Kevin called me and said, hey, we're debating this right now on the panel. He's like, we're going to throw your tweet up and talk about it before overtime. And he's like, and I'm going to rip you. I'm like, what? And he's like, I got to go. So he hangs up, and I'm like, oh, no, here we go. So, yeah, it was interesting. But I'm trying to be unbiased here. Like, I still believe that was a goal. I think the rule states that you can direct or deflect the puck into the net without a distinct kicking motion. When Coleman goes to the net, if you watch, and I know it looks different from different angles, but, when he's going that fast to the net and he's literally trying to do a 2-foot stop, his right skate gets caught on Smith's pad, so obviously his left leg extends as he's trying to stop. And at that point, he has all his weight on his front skate. You can see like ice shavings coming up from the blade, so his blade's on the ice. He's trying to stop. And does he guide it in? He does. Yeah, I'm not trying to say he didn't, but there was no clear, distinct kicking motion. So, and the unfortunate thing is the puck looked like it was going to go in, right? I mean, that's debatable again, but yeah, it was a big point in the game, but that didn't, to me, affect the outcome of the series, but I do think it was a goal.
Yeah. Should there be no gray area at all, Brendan? Like if a puck goes in off your skate, should it count? Should it not count? No matter what, whether you kick it or not.
But I do think this is going to be brought up at the board meeting for sure. I mean, it is a discretionary a little bit, right? So you're putting this in the hands of the control room in Toronto to make this call. Now, I know everybody wants to see more goals, and the rule changed in the past where you couldn't even deflect it off your skate. So they did change to say, no, you can deflect it as long as you're not kicking it. So there was, a step forward in that regard. I don't know. It needs to be revisited again. I don't know if you can actually like soccer kick it into the net, right? But moving your blade while it's on the ice to direct it in, I have no issue with.
Well, if back in your day, if they did allow you to kick it like a soccer ball, that wouldn't really help you because according to Bieksa, you're the worst soccer player in the history of the planet. Have I got that right?
You know what? Like that was such a low blow. And I couldn't defend myself. Let's call Daniel and Henrik the true. I call those guys the number one, number 2 ranked European soccer players that would play the warm up. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I was probably number 1 ranked North American. I would say Bieksa. I don't think he was ranked. Just saying, not just like he played the game. He played the game with 2 left feet. I couldn't believe it. Like he was almost first out every time.
Hey, Brendan, have I got this right? You live in Calgary right now?
I am, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
What was your take on the Flames and what happened to them in this series?
Well, it was interesting. I mean, I kind of picked them to kind of make it to the conference finals against Colorado, but clearly the Oilers' best players outplayed the Flames' best players. That was what the series came down to. And I think goaltending, which has been such a strong point for the Flames all season long, with their team defense, it wasn't where it needed to be. I'm not single-handedly putting this on Markstrom. I do think last night he made some brilliant saves to keep them in the game. But I think overall he wasn't at the same level that he was during the regular season. But a lot of their big guys who are relied upon to score goals weren't either. So I think it was just a product of the best players on Edmonton being better than the best players on Calgary.
Hey, Brendan, get your thoughts on Chris Tanev. The word spread last night. He played with a separated shoulder the last couple of games. He got hurt in the Dallas series. You've been watching him. Talk about Chris and his time in Calgary.
Wow, I mean, I don't even know how you put into words kind of what he went through there to get back in the lineup. The amount of pain you could see visually on the TV there. A lot of times when he went into battles in front of the net, he was wincing. And I mean, just a huge heart, a huge team player. For him to put his body on the line like that and sacrifice it for the team, and it says a lot about, I think, the type of person he is. He's been a huge addition to the Flames ever since he signed here a couple of years ago with Markstrom. He's a steadying influence on the back end there. He's what you're going to get every single night. There's no surprises, and he's a big part of this club in Calgary.
For people who don't know, Brendan, you said you're living in Calgary. What are you up to these days?
Well, a few things on the go, but a huge passion of mine is fishing, and I actually just landed here in Kamloops. We're going to go do a fly fishing episode. I host a program called Real West Coast, which is on TV, and we got a pretty good social media presence as well. So that's a passion and something I really enjoy doing. And I'm into some commercial real estate with a group out of Vancouver as well, the Strongman Group, and still pretty involved with 2 kids at home, 2 kids at university. So keep them busy. Always something happening.
Brendan, that's Real West Coast on Czech TV.
Yeah,
you're on Czech TV right now. Just so you know. So we want to drive that home. Keep the bosses happy here.
I knew you guys knew, but you're right. I should have actually formally said that. Yeah, Real West Coast on Czech TV, absolutely. You guys know that.
All right. Yeah, like I say, keep the bosses happy. Hey, this was short notice, Brendan. Thanks so much for joining us. All the best, my friend.
No problem, guys. Okay, keep it up. It's always a pleasure.
You bet. Thanks, Brendan Morrison.